Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about how I found out I have endometriosis. So my period has always been very heavy and I always had very bad cramps. I couldn't concentrate in school. I can't say I had I missed school or anything because I was going my mom would say take some ibuprofen or something and just go to school. I remember I didn't take those. Sometimes I would, but I grew up in a family where we didn't take medicine unless it was like very necessary, I guess. I mean, I could still like walk and it was okay, kind of. But then, as I grew older, things started getting more like severe. In 2020, I bought basically my first menstrual cup, and I'm not gonna say that the menstrual cup did something bad to me because I don't think so. But sometime around then, it's when I started having like my cramps were so bad that I basically felt pain in my butt. It was very hard to like do my business in when I had the worst cramps. And that would happen in like the second day of my menstruation, or sometimes in the first. So I talked about menstrual cramps, heavy bleeding, pain in my butt, and pain removing my menstrual cup. At first, it did the pain was there, but it was more like a discomfort because I didn't know how to use it properly. I had to get used to it, and at first, I remember like the first few months, I think 3 months, it's when I couldn't place it perfectly, so little blood could still come out. That's why I used like some tissue paper for that. I remember that I had the lack of being on my period while I was at home, so it wasn't that much of a big deal. But yeah, after 3 months, that's when I started getting really used to it, and it really changed my life. Before, I couldn't really go to let's say like a fair or anything that involved me moving too much because I remember like for example while I was in uni, I had like a class that took like 2 hours, and after I didn't move the whole time. I just sat down, and at the end of the class, after those 2 hours, when I got up, like I felt like a lot of blood rushing down, and I knew the second that I felt it, like I knew my clothes were already soaked, and I was like panicking inside. I remember I went outside, like I bolted out the door literally, and I wanted to go to the dorms, but I met a guy that was looking for like a print shop or something, and he wanted my help, and I didn't want to refuse. Like he needed help, he was lost, he was like an Erasmus student, and after giving him directions, he was like, don't you like, can't you come with me? And I was like, okay, sure. So I spent like around 20 minutes like going there and then right back to the dorms. And yeah, when I arrived to the dorms and went to the toilet, there it was. Sorry guys, something happened to my camera while I was filming. So basically, when I went back to the dorms, what I had feared, it was true. My pants were like stained. That's what I've been cursed with like for my whole life ever since I got my period. Uh, I also remember that when I was still using menstrual pads, I would use like every day, like of my first few days, I would use like those the biggest ones, those for night use, and I would use them even at during the day because that's how bad it was. No matter how fresh the pad was, like sometimes it would just like flow out in a weird direction and end up on my clothes instead of the pad. Didn't feel comfortable on my period. Like on the first few days, I would always like walk a bit weird. Like I remember my mom saw me doing that, and she was like, "Stop walking like that. It's weird." But I just tried to move my feet. If it makes sense, I just tried to move my whole body and my feet like as little as possible, as to not like disturb. I don't know. I was just afraid to like make a wrong move I know it sounds crazy. Maybe you think I'm crazy. I don't know. So yeah, so I talked about like pain removing my menstrual cup, and now I want to talk about when I started having like very bad symptoms on my period, the worst I ever had, which is the present, or like the last like 3 years or something, or I'm wrong, but it was been a few years ever since I started like having uh, very bad periods, but only like maybe I would get them like 2 or 3 times a year, something like that, like every few months. Like it's very bad, very bad. It starts very suddenly, the pain starts very suddenly, but it's more intense this time, and I can't really like move 1 inch. When I imagine I was at work, that this happened like last year, and it was like the worst of them. That's when I started like investigating, because I knew it's not normal. Like it's not normal to not be able to work. It's not normal to feel pain during like walking. It's not normal to like be afraid to even move, like shift a bit like this in a chair and feel that intense pain. It's not normal to faint. It's not normal to vomit. It's not normal to just you're not feeling like a human being when that happens. It's just so intense. And if you tell that to a doctor, it just doesn't seem like they care. Uh, the last time I got this was last month. It was a bit more bearable, but the pain was still so bad. Like I feel, I feel pain in my abdomen, but I also feel it like if it makes sense between my legs, but like right where I sit, it just hurts. Like it hurts sitting. It hurts walking. Um, then it doesn't feel I don't feel well unless like I lay down. I can't. I remember last year when it got really bad. That was the first time I even felt like fainting. I think it was also because of panic. I didn't know what was happening to me. um, I remember like one of my colleagues was like telling my boss to let me go home because I can't work, but I was like, nah, I can't. I will be fine in a few hours because it's happened to me before. I know that. But truth be told, it was so bad. Like I remember, like it took me like 3.5 hours, something like that, to feel like a normal person again. It was still like hurt bad, but it was a bit more tolerable. And it started around like 10:30 a.m. I remember, and my husband. I didn't call him in the beginning. I was like, no, I can like drive myself home. It will be okay. But then I think it was 11:30 or like 11 something when I called him, but it took him like an hour to come, and yeah, it just hurt so bad. I remember I got home and I changed my clothes and just threw myself in bed, and it was it was horrible. When I had these episodes, I don't know how to call them. I didn't even try to poop because it would hurt so bad. Like just trying to do it, like it hurt so bad that I just stopped midway. Like if it makes sense. Yeah, this is TMI. Maybe I shouldn't have said it. Um, Also, pain relief wasn't working. I remember like the first few times I had these episodes, I would take pain relief like instantly because I felt like kind of better. After 2 hours, I said, "Oh, okay, it must be the pain relief." Usually, it took 1 hour for it to make me feel better. But when I had these bad episodes, only after like 2 3 hours, I could feel a bit better or normal again. So yeah, I had to go through hours of constant pain, sometimes sharp pain too, because yeah, the pain was constant. Like sometimes it would like get harder, like it was more building up. Like you start like kind of like here from the beginning, but then it would build up slowly. Sometimes we would start like slowly, but then when it would reach its peak, it would last me a few hours, like I said. I got pain in my right side and thought it was appendicitis. I had problems with like my kidneys. I had kidney stones, and I would go to like abdominal ultrasound, and I got like some things prescribed to me for that, and I would drink like I got kind of syrup. I don't know. The thing is, I did get rid of those kidney stones, and that was when I also had the pain in my right side, and the doctor said, yeah, we would monitor it. She would like press on my right side, or like bring my knee to my chest. It really didn't hurt. I tried that at home even before going to her, and so like nothing. And yeah, but it was still like having an impact on me. I was like scared to work out because that was when I was really active. And yeah, I just thought that maybe I would like do something to it. And I was basically afraid to end up in emergency. Then I found out it was actually a cyst that kept growing. And yeah, it kept growing from like 3 centimeters to 4, and then 5 centimeters. And that's when I stopped going to that doctor, because she was trying to sell me some syrup, that the syrup I took the first time for my kidney stones. She kept saying that that's what she prescribes to her clients for like kidney stones and cysts. She said is most probably a follicular cyst. I think that's basically a cyst that can grow like a lot of women have this cyst, but they disappear like in 2 or 3 menstrual cycles. For me, it wasn't the case. When she found out my 3 centimeter cyst, she also found like 2 or 3 other cysts in my right ovary, and 3 in the left ovary. Um, I don't remember exactly when they disappeared, but they did. All the others disappeared. It's just funny how ChatGPT knew, or not that he knew, but like he gave me a list of all the things that I could be possibly having, and one of them was endometriosis. And I remember I was like, nah, there's no way I have endometriosis. But when it was confirmed that I have, that's when like things started clicking, all my symptoms and stuff. So yeah, I stopped going to that woman because she was trying to sell me that syrup to make money off of me. When she saw that I wasn't going to buy it, that's when she said you can go to other doctor, but the doctor will tell you that you have to have surgery, which already happened. I mean, I went to another, and he told me exactly that. He basically told me, you will either have a child, you will get pregnant, or we will operate you, because I mean I have a cyst that's around 6 centimeters now, well probably 7, because I did get an MRI, and that's when it was around 6 centimeters, maybe now it's 7. And the pain now is more like I basically feel it every day. It's sometimes it hurts more, sometimes less. It really depends on my like mental state. I've noticed that it's really important if you get like stressed out, and I'm a really stressed out person, to be honest. It's That's when it hurts the most. If I try to like stay really positive and stuff, that's when it really slows, like it's really more tolerable. Or sometimes I don't feel much. I can ignore it. It's like I can ignore it, but yeah, I know it's not right. It doesn't feel right down there. That gynecologist told me like from the start. Like I did a transvaginal, and she was like, "You have a chocolate cyst. You have to get surgery." But she still recommended me to go to an MRI first, and then come back to her. And yeah, she told me the same thing again, basically. The MRI also showed that my right ovary, is pushed back, and it's also stuck to my large intestine. The MRI also showed that the endometriosis isn't deeply infiltrated. I think it's what they describe it like. So it's not very very bad, but the pain is bad, even though the disease isn't uh, like in the fourth phase. I think I also noted here how my pain has been more severe ever since I found out I have endo. No, I have pain any day, not only when ovulating on my period, because before it was like more on my ovulation and my period only. Oh, my period would also sometimes come 1 week later, I remember that was when I panicked really badly because I thought I was pregnant. That was last year. Yeah, this year also, I think it was when I also got my period very late, but usually it doesn't come late. So yeah, I thought I was healthy. I thought I was normal. I thought it was normal to feel that way. Yeah, I want to talk about how endo has made me want to change my lifestyle, new habits, change my perspective and approach on life, and also YouTube. Like basically how you are told that you should like eat very healthy and be active. It makes sense. Like the healthier you are, the better you will feel. I plan on starting again my workouts. I want to like change my perspective on life because I don't I tend to say that I'm like a more realistic person, but I think uh, truthfully I'm just pessimistic. And I'm trying to change that because really the way you see life, it's your perspective on life is what shapes your reality. So if you see it like a very bad like place, or you only focus on the negative, that's what you will see as your reality. um, it's really important to be positive because I believe many of our diseases come from our minds because we think in a negative way. So I talked about my perspective, how I changed my perspective and approach on life. YouTube. I've been wanting to have a YouTube channel for like years, ever since I was a kid basically. I grew up with YouTube, that's how I learned English. I basically wanted to be a YouTuber ever since like YouTube wasn't such a thing, like there weren't so many people who did YouTube, but I was afraid. I thought I wasn't good enough. I thought I was ugly. I made myself believe that this thing is not cut out for me. But the truth is, even if now I'm like very cringe or like just not good, I'm not on the same level as YouTubers nowadays. That doesn't mean that I can grow and can't improve my content. I was also afraid of judgment. And I found myself reasons why I shouldn't do it, and actually convinced myself that it's not for me. And those previous reasons are why I won't like doing it. Yeah, I was basically telling myself it's no use for you to start doing YouTube because you won't like it. You will feel like very bad because you will read negative comments and it will affect you, and you will maybe want like to end your life or something. I was very dramatic, trust me. I've been having like episodes like that while I was a teenager. Now I'm older, obviously I'm not thinking the same, but I'm still negative and I get affected very easily by negative people and stuff. So I'm thinking about making more videos like this one. I want to take you with me through my journey with endometriosis, and help you change your life also because it's very important. Like I said, you aren't defined by your diseases. You should focus on improving yourselves. But it's okay to feel down and like not do much when you're like having very bad episodes. That's very okay. But when you're better, you should try to live life to the fullest. That's what you should do. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not perfect. I still have ups and downs. My life is basically like a roller coaster. I will also make a video about me and like wanting to change my job because I don't feel like it aligns with me and what I want in my life. Uh, that's one of the big reasons why I'm not satisfied with my life and why I was very sad these past few years. And just you will see it in my attitude. I wasn't really like talking much to people, and if I wasn't like, I mean, you could see that I wasn't happy, you know. That shows in the way you interact with people, in your vibe overall. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.